Hello, hello. Really looking forward to diving into a massive new feature that we've had launched last week on the StoreHero platform. So, as you can see in front of us here, it's kind of goals and forecasting, which we're going to jump into. But just before we do, I suppose one of the biggest challenges that we've had with StoreHero, I suppose, in the last 12 months is that often the dashboard can turn into a wall of pretty numbers that people struggle to make decisions on unless we're able to hold every single number on the platform accountable towards a North Star profit target. And really, what we're trying to get to a position is that when you log into Store Hero, we can very quickly start to understand what's on track or what's off track, all in service of that North Star profit target for us as a business. So today we're just going to walk through creating a brand new forecast for this demo store account that we have got on here today. So first piece is first, we want to understand and really set the core foundation. So one challenge again that we see a lot of brands fall into the trap is when they're building their forecasts and they're building their targets, I suppose, that often it's just simply revenue orientated and revenue focused. So we want to flip that on its head and get brands thinking profit first. So essentially, if we're breaking down the business into kind of its four key components, obviously revenue is the first piece. We want to understand the overarching cost of goods, the operating expenses that the business needs to cover, the profit as a goal that the business owner needs to set themselves, and then trying to work retroactively backwards to understand what is the target marketing spend and the marketing efficiency ratio of that business that they can afford to spend in order to make the business tick. So let's just say, for instance, we wanted to hit our 1.4 million target. Store Hero automatically pulls your fully loaded cost of goods, so product, packing, shipping, transaction, fulfillment, return costs, all that kind of jazz, directly into the platform in real time. From there, we have our operating expenses. So really trying to understand, what's the cost to keep the lights on for the business, staff costs, rent costs, all that kind of thing, agency fees, bringing all of that into the mix here to make sure that we're factoring that in when we're trying to figure out how much can we afford to spend, and then our target net profit margin. And obviously we have our percentage of new customers that we're going for, which will obviously influence our customer acquisition cost targets, how many we need to hit, just making sure that we can have all those numbers centralized in the tool so that every day when we log in that we know when we're on track or off track with different things. So let's just kind of take a hypothetical example here, and I want you to keep your eye on the target marketing spend and the efficiency rate needed in order to hit not just our revenue targets, but also our profit targets as well. So let's just say we were working with the business based on these numbers, and instead of 15%, it was going to be more like 18%. So what I'm going to do is increase 15% to 18%, just as an example. This goes through this kind of, I suppose, the rationale holds through for every line here, but just pick operating expenses. So I'm going to increase this from 15% to 18%. And what's going to happen when I do that is it's going to drop the amount I can afford to spend on marketing because we're hitting the same revenue, the same profit figure, and therefore I'm going to need to be much more efficient on this guy right here. So let's just go ahead and do that. So it's dropped my spend from 430K down to 391K, and it's increased my efficiency on that target to now go from like 3.3 up to about 3.62. So let's just say we settle on this. These are our targets for the year. We're then pulling in the last 12 months worth of data to understand all of our seasonal components of the business, trying to work out what our sales figures should be on a monthly basis, our marketing budgets on a monthly basis, obviously all of our contribution margin targets, operating expenses, and our net profit targets on a monthly basis, which is incredibly important. All the way down to things like how many orders we need, gross profit on a new customer basis, total amount of new customers, CAC, all that kind of thing. So once we hit finish and we settle on our target, every time we log into Store Hero, we're going to have all of our key goals mapped in here, so we can start to see, where are we on track or off track with different numbers, not just versus previous period, but also most importantly now versus our targets as well. This just makes it much more refined and easier for everybody to log into the platform and really start to really understand, I suppose, where the core opportunities and the problems are within the business. Obviously, we've turned it on for a bunch of our existing customers right now, and we've been inundated with plenty of new customers really looking to give this a try. If it's of interest, just drop me a DM. More than happy to walk you through a proper demo with your own store data in here and hopefully get you up and running pretty soon.